Today, I put the highest rated rookies from the 2023 NFL Draft onto one team to see how long it would take to win a Super Bowl. And I have a feeling with the amount of great football players that got drafted this year, there's going to be some superstars coming up in the future. Right now, this team of rookies is one of the lowest rated teams in franchise mode, but Bryce Young is going to be the starting quarterback on the team at 74 overall, but if he doesn't play well, CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson are right their way to get their chance. Lots of elite receivers for Bryce Young to rely on, like Jackson Smith-Njigba and Zay Flowers, but I think they'll be relying heavily on the highest rated rookie in Bijan Robinson, who is my choice at Offensive Rookie of the Year this season. Jalen Carter will lead the way on defense along with the third overall pick, Will Anderson Jr. The secondary on this team is led by Devin Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez. We cannot end this video until the team of rookies lift the Lombardi Trophy, and this season started off pretty good. Through the first 6 games, the team of rookies are at the top of the NFC South with a 4-2 record. I really want to see some big numbers from Bryce Young, but it doesn't look that good so far. He's thrown for 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns, but he's also thrown 7 interceptions already. He does, however, have a superstar depth trait, but Bijan Robinson keeps getting better, and he's up to a true 83 overall now. The team of rookies ended up losing the last 4 games of the season, but it was enough to win the NFC South, and now they take on the Dallas Cowboys in the wild card game. I am truly surprised that we even made it to the playoffs, but I guess our competition was Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, and Desmond Ridder, so I guess there's that. Bryce Young had a mediocre season, throwing for 23 touchdowns and 22 interceptions. The fairy tale season came to an end, and the Cowboys really showed why they are rated high in Madden, dominating the wild card game, and now the rookies are eliminated from the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills won the Super Bowl over the Dallas Cowboys, but Jackson Smith-Njigba and Jack Campbell both won Rookie of the Year awards. After each season, we are going to give this team a little bit of help and open one mystery box of upgrades. These upgrades range from stat increasing to adding superstar players to the team, and I'm going to go with this one right over here. We can turn one of our rookies into a superstar X Factor. The 3 players that I'm thinking about upgrading to a superstar X Factor is Bryce Young, Jackson Smith-Njigba, or Jalen Carter. But since Bryce Young had a mediocre season, I decided to give him one last chance, upgrading him to a superstar X Factor, and let's see what he can do this season for us. Heading into season number 2, the offense is looking pretty good, with Bryce Young up to a 77 overall, and Bijan Robinson continues to be the best player from the draft. The defense took a step forward with a few players taking the next step, like Jalen Carter up to an 82 overall, and Devin Witherspoon up to a true 81. After stepping to the midseason, the team of rookies is struggling. They are 2-4, only defeating the Bucks and the Falcons. Thankfully, the rest of the division is struggling as well, and we still have a chance at making the playoffs. Young is having a better start this year with 1,500 passing yards and 18 touchdowns. Will Anderson Jr. leads the team with 4.5 sacks, which is a big reason for our defense is ranked 6th in the NFL. News got pretty bad for the team of rookies, as Bryce Young is now out for 9 weeks with a broken shoulder blade, and Bijan Robinson tore his Achilles. And as expected, the season went downhill quick, losing 12 games this season and missing the playoffs. JSN improved from last season with 1,148 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns, while Will Anderson finished with a year with a 13.5 sack, which was good enough for 3rd in the Defensive Player of the Year voting. The Buffalo Bills go on to win back-to-back Super Bowls, where Josh Allen was NFL MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Before we head into our next season, let's open another box, and it looks like it's gonna be a free agent signing. The free agency class is loaded with offensive linemen like Joel Bitonio, Tyron Smith, David Bakhtiari, and Wyatt Teller. There's obviously some other good players as well, but I decided to bring in Wyatt Teller to really help mentor our offensive line. Bryce Young is up to an 81 overall and still a superstar X Factor, and I'm really hoping him and JSN have a great connection this season. And the defense is looking a lot better, with Will Anderson Jr. taking a much needed step up to superstar, and Jalen Carter is up to an 84. And season 3 started off much better. We are currently 5-2, tied with the Saints for the division lead, and Bryce Young has started the season amazing, winning Player of the Week twice, once in week 2 and once in week 7. He's currently 5th in the NFL with 1,700 passing yards and 16 touchdowns, but a huge improvement, only throwing 3 interceptions. Taking on a Rams team that are currently 5-1, Jared Goff makes his return to LA somehow. We are finally starting to see the connection between Bryce Young and JSN, connecting on 2 touchdowns in the first half of this very important game, but Jared Goff says not so fast, finding tight end Davis Allen for a 5-yard touchdown to take the lead in the 4th quarter. They ended up getting the ball back, and Bijan Robinson is able to get them into field goal range, and the team of rookies come out with a huge win to extend their winning streak. After simming the rest of the season, the team of rookies continued to play well, finishing with a 10-7 record, which was good enough to finish 1st in the NFC South, but now take on their divisional rivals in the wild card. Before we see how they perform in the playoffs, let's have a look at their stats, and Bryce Young has impressed me so far, finishing 3rd in the NFL with 4,380 yards, 30 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. Bijan Robinson has a huge year coming off that torn Achilles injury, going for 1,200 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns, while Jackson Smith and Jigba keeps getting better each season with almost 1,400 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns. It was a pretty uneventful first half as both teams started swapping field goals, but Bryce Young was able to find Michael Mayer in the end zone to take the lead at half. Bryce Young was able to extend the lead with a beautiful pass to tight end Sam Laporta. And the team of rookies went on to win their first ever playoff game, gaining some really good playoff experience, but the job is not done yet. And next up is the Dallas Cowboys, who finished 12-5 this season, with Micah Parsons being their #1 threat. It was a long night for Bryce Young, getting hit hard and throwing an interception to Trayvon Diggs. Dak and the offense made them pay, taking a huge 10-point lead in the first half, and the second half wasn't much better for the rookies, losing by a score of 31-6, and their third season comes to an end without a Super Bowl. And for the third straight season, the Dallas Cowboys lose in the Super Bowl, this time to the Kansas City Chiefs. Opening another box, and unfortunately, this one isn't going to help too much. We can make one of our players a star depth, and there's only a few options that we can go with here. We can upgrade Hunter Luepke, Mazi Smith, Sidney Brown, Jay Ward, or Brian Breesy. But honestly, I'm thinking we upgrade Mazi Smith to help on the D-line with Jalen Carter. The team keeps getting better heading into season number 4, with Bryce Young up to an 86 overall, with his #1 wide receiver up to a true 89 overall. Both Will Anderson and Jack Campbell are superstar X-Factors, but the rest of the defense improved quite a bit. After starting the season off 7-0, they ended up losing 5 straight games, but then they were able to rebound and picked up a couple of wins along the way. A big wildcard game against the Falcons, and Desmond Ridder was able to score with 1 minute left, but they need the extra point, and they don't get it. The team of rookies are now moving on to the divisional round for the second straight season, but can they get over that hump is the biggest question, and you won't be able to guess who we play. Yes, the Dallas Cowboys once again. The score starting the second half is 3-2 for the Cowboys, and both teams can't get any offense going, especially with that amazing pass rush from the Cowboys. Down 4 with 3 minutes to go, Young finds Quentin Johnson in the end zone to take the late lead. The Cowboys tie it late, and we are heading into overtime. And in overtime, the team of rookies get a much-needed stop and kick a field goal to win the game. And what a huge relief that was, defeating a really good Cowboys team. The team of rookies were easily able to defeat the Commanders in the NFC Championship game, and now we're heading into the Super Bowl. This really might be the year. And although the team of rookies played quite well, Lamar Jackson was able to get his team down the field, and Justin Tucker, of all people, get a game-winning field goal to win the Super Bowl. Another heartbreaking loss for the team of rookies. Okay, we need to open another box, and this time it's going to be +5 to all stats. We could use a +5 on Bryce Young, but I decided to upgrade Will Anderson Jr., and now he's up to a true 98 overall. Heading into season number 5, we haven't been able to lift the Lombardi Trophy yet, but our team got a lot better. Bryce Young will continue to lead the offense, and Will Anderson being the leader on the defense. Wasn't exactly the record that we were hoping for, but we still managed to win 10 games and finish at the top of the NFC South once again. Bryce Young finished second in the NFL with 4,300 passing yards and 37 touchdowns. The rookies ended up losing to the Bucs in the wildcard game, and this was a very disappointing season. So far, we are 5 seasons deep, but we can count on one thing: the Cowboys losing once again in the Super Bowl in this Madden sim. All right, let's see what the next box is going to be, and I'm really hoping it's a good one. It's going to be steal a player. This is a very good one, but we have to spin this wheel of NFL teams to see what it lands on. And after spinning that wheel, it lands on the Miami Dolphins. We can go with Jalen Ramsey, Javon Holland, Jalen Waddle, or Jalen Phillips. But since we could use some safety help, I'm bringing in Javon Holland. Our offense remains intact with Bryce Young as our starting quarterback, and huge upgrade on the defense with Javon Holland. And it looks like those upgrades definitely helped our team, going 7-0 through the first 7 games, and we have the #1 offense in the NFL. And after simulating the rest of the season, the team of rookies is undefeated. I definitely didn't expect an undefeated season, but now we have a first-round bye heading into the playoffs. Bryce Young had his best season ever with 4,500 passing yards and 39 touchdowns, while Bijan Robinson came up big, and Will Anderson got back to 17.5 sacks. Take on the Cowboys in the divisional round, and the rookies were able to barely sneak out a victory here. They kept that momentum going, defeating the Commanders by a score of 27-13, and are now heading into the Super Bowl once again. This time, we take on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Unfortunately, it did not start off great as Joe Burrow throws an absolute dot to Jamar Chase to take a 10-point lead early. Bryce Young was not ready to roll over and throws a beautiful pass to Quentin Johnson for a 21-yard touchdown. And he wasn't slowing down either, finding Marvin Mims for another touchdown to take the lead just before halftime. This game was really close, and Bryce Young kept feeling the pressure. a huge 3rd and 5 in the red zone, and Bryce Young makes a big mistake throwing an interception. A big 3rd down for the Bengals, and they are able to convert on it and then score a touchdown to take the lead with less than 2 minutes to go. He's able to lead his team down the field, and with just 7 seconds left, he finds Michael Mayer for a touchdown to win the Super Bowl. It took the team of rookies 6 seasons and a few upgrades to help them win the Super Bowl, but a lot of these rookies are certified superstars in this league. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you're gonna love this one. I would definitely go check it out.